we were discussing a couple of concepts with relation to management of financial services. Now, in this class, what we'll be doing is I'll just give you an overview what we were discussing in the last class, and then we'll move on to the next concept. Okay. So we started off in last class with what are financial assets, what are financial intermediaries, and then we were about to discuss financial markets, rates of return, and financial instruments. In this video, we'll be discussing specifically what are financial markets. Now, in any financial system, as you know, I'm just giving an overview. In any financial system, as you know, you have financial assets, financial intermediaries, but these intermediaries function in financial markets. So, what are financial markets? So, if you look at financial markets, they are basically any place or location wherein any financial transaction takes place. Now, in today's age, you can have this place as an online marketplace, you can have this place as a physical marketplace, or you can have an over-the-counter market also. So you have several types of locations, and it is not a specific location wherein you can say that this is a financial market. So wherever a financial transaction takes place, that place is known as a financial market. So there are many classifications of financial markets. So as any financial system works, we have two separate classifications for this financial market also. One is an organized system and second is an unorganized system. Now, in an unorganized system, it is fairly easy to understand. It does not come under the purview of RBI. So because it is a financial market, RBI, or it is not regulated by the government agencies per se. Now, what happens is, because there are many people who are involved in such a business who cannot be regulated, it is because otherwise, if everything is regulated, what happens is you do not have any other alternative to function. So for any function or any system to work properly, you need to have a parallel system which is not properly regulated, because in case the main system fails, you always need a parallel system to function. Now, this parallel system in our case is your unorganized market. Now, in our unorganized market, you have your normal money lenders, indigenous bankers, and other people, or pawnbrokers, who actually work with the common public to lend money. So that is the main function performed by the unorganized market. So whenever you look at the entire financial market in a classification as such, you will understand that organized market, in the unorganized market, most people are involved in lending money. They're not involved basically in how other things work, or how buying and selling of securities. They're basically involved in lending money. So when this money is lent, this money can be invested back into the system, and the system can then rotate the money to perform various other functions, financial functions. Now, in the organized market, you have basically two different classifications. One is your capital market, and second is your money market. The capital market is for your long-term fund requirements, generally for more than 1 year. And your money market is for your short-term requirements, that is for less than 1 year. Basically, we would term it as for about 6 months somewhere. Now, capital market can be classified into three again. One is your industrial securities market, your government securities market, and your long-term loans market. Industrial securities market is where we generally know capital market as it is. That is your stock exchanges, other places wherein stocks are issued and traded. Now, whenever stocks are issued in a new market, whenever stocks are issued in a market, that market is known as the primary market. Okay, so in the primary market, you have all stocks, all new shares are issued, and these new stocks are then shared in the secondary market. So this is how it works. Stocks are issued in the primary market, they are then traded in the secondary market. By trading means buying and selling of shares. So whenever you have these shares can be sold, bought in the secondary market once they are issued in the primary market. So the only function of primary market is to issue those shares. You can then only further trade it in the secondary market. So the entire industrial or corporate world depends on your normal share money and other trading in the industrial securities market. Then you have your government securities market. What happens is government also sometimes issues securities, bonds, and other things. So these things come in the government securities market. Then you have your long-term loans market. As I said, capital market is specific with respect to long-term loans only, or long-term funds only. So in that, with respect, you have three different things. One is your term loan market, market for mortgages, and market for financial guarantees. Now, market for term loan market is for a specific term, for example, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So that is how a term loan market functions. Then you have market for mortgages also. For mortgages, whenever you need mortgages, mortgages are generally for a long term period for 20 years, 25 years. So you can go to that market. Then you have market for financial guarantees. Like sometimes you would require financial guarantees to borrow or lend. So in that specific case, you can go to this market for financial guarantees. Now, in the short term money market, you have call money market. Okay. Then you have commercial bill market, treasury bill market, and short term loan market. Now, as I said before, unorganized markets are basically markets wherein indigenous bankers and small town people operate, wherein they lend money to people so that that money can be used in other markets. Now, in the unorganized market, as I said before, you have two things: you have capital and money market, and you have your capital market in which you can provide it through industrial securities, government securities, long-term loans market. Then you have your industrial securities market. So industrial securities market basically in which you have all of these things like your equity shares, which are your ordinary shares. Then you have your preference shares. Then you have your debentures or bonds, which are debt instruments. Then you have your these things are issued in the primary market or the new issue market, and then they are traded in the secondary market or the stock market. Stock market means your NSE, BSE, and other stock markets, wherein you can go and buy shares and you can also sell your shares. They provide liquidity for your shares. Okay, so in the industrial securities market, you have these three important things. You can have equity shares, you can have preference shares, you can also have debentures or bonds. Then you have your primary market. Now, whenever you issue new shares, as I said before, primary market is very specific to issuing of new shares. Whenever you issue new shares, you can issue it in three methods. You can either have a public issue. Public issue means you open this issue to everybody. That means anybody who is willing to apply for your share will get your share. So that is your public issue. Now, it can be a layman, it can be a company or anybody. Now, then you have your rights issue. Rights issue means those people who already hold your shares. For example, if you are a company who has already issued 1000 shares. Now, all of these 1000 shareholders, all of those people who have these 1000 shares can come and apply for your new shares when you're issuing for new shares. You're not giving it to people outside your own customer base or people who have already bought your shares. So it is a right issue. So for people who already hold your shares, it is their right to buy your shares. So that is how it is framed. That is why it is known as a rights issue. Then you have your private placement. That means when you issue your new shares, you can take that chunk and give it to one private holder so that it does not dilute your ownership. So inside it is actually diluting your ownership in a certain sense, but because you're placing it with somebody who you know or who you are very aware of, that is how you do not give out your shares to all people around. So you give out your shares to only a small group of people or people who you think will be very loyal to you. So that is how private placement is done. Then you have your secondary market. Now these are stock exchanges like your BSE and NSE, wherein whenever shares are issued in the primary market, you can go in the stock exchange and then you can buy and sell your shares. So these markets, what they essentially do is to provide you a certain degree of liquidity, because without liquidity, there is no point in issuing shares, because no investor will invest in your market if you do not have requisite liquidity. Then you have your government securities market. In every government securities market, what happens is governments by time to time may issue bonds, shares, like for example oil bonds. They might issue different securities. Now these are also known as gilt-edged securities market. It is because government securities are generally very sought after, because people feel that in case a private person may default, but the government will never default. So the whole concept of having a low risk bond or share will always attract people to that specific market. So that is why government securities market is also known as a gilt-edged market or gilt-edged securities market. Then you have long-term loans market. You might have, as I said before, term loans, mortgages market, financial guarantees market. Okay, and then you have your money market. Now, in the money market, there are, I didn't explain this before, you have four different things. One is call money market, commercial bill market, treasury bill market, and short-term loan market. Now, in the call money market, it is generally only a 14-day advance. And why it is called call money is either the lender or the borrower can call for that money back. For example, if I require that money back in between that 14 days, I can call for it. So that is why it is known as a call money market. Now, next is your commercial bill market. So whenever you issue bills of exchange, whenever that happens, whenever bills of exchange are issued, these bills of exchange should be traded somewhere. Otherwise, they do not have any kind of liquidity. So whenever they can be traded in this money market, because generally bills of exchange are for very small periods, for 6 months or 8 months or 3 months. So for that, you can trade your bills of exchange in the commercial bill market. Then you have treasury bill market. Now, so these bills are issued by the government. So as I said before, these are very sought after bills. So people will have a lot of attachment towards this. There will be high demand for this market. So that is your treasury bill market. Then you have a short-term loan market where you can get short-term loans. That is less than 1 year or 6 months or 8 months for that period. So you can get a specific market. So this was the entire video discussion for today. So what we did in the entire 2 sessions is we started off with what a financial system is. Then we moved on to what financial assets are, what financial intermediaries are, and what financial markets are. Thank you so much. Thank you.